What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Lost Ark guide. In this guide, I'm going to show you the best PvE build that I have on the Shadowhunter. And I'm going to show you two versions. So I'm going to show you the version that I ran when I was a low level, and then I'm going to show you the version that I'm running now. Now, the ones that I have equipped right now are not really the ones that I've been using. I'm going to show you. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is because on my stream, people are asking me what build I'm using because it absolutely dominates in PvE. Now, Shadowhunter can be actually quite difficult to use in the first levels as a beginner. And I was considering changing Shadowhunter, like changing my main to something else, like Deathblade. But then I actually fell in love with Shadowhunter, and I would not be wanting to run anything else as my main right now. I love this character. I love this class. It just absolutely dominates now that I'm at a higher level. So I'm going to show you what I did in the first levels to kind of make me like it a bit more. And I'll basically show you what I'm running right now that absolutely dominates. So let's get into this video, and we will actually start with the first ones that I ran first. Now keep in mind, this is for PvE, not PvP. I don't do much PvP. So I had Slasher on bind to A. I had the demonic slash bind to W, and then I had spinning dive to D, and then I had the cruel cutter to Q, and you'll understand why I've done this in a second. And then I had E as my charge, or demonic vision. Now, this is why I had this set up. So basically I played WAD, and then I had the demonic clone at in S. So basically with this setup, this is what I can do. And this made it extremely easy for me. I can charge forward, and then I can do D, and then I can, A, then D, and then I can smash S, right? So let me show you that again. So I can charge forward, I can do A, I can do D, and then I can do S. This made it extremely easy for me. And then on my Q and E on the side, I have my long range stuff, and then obviously E as well, this one here. So this made it so easy. So that's what I was using early stage. I wasn't really focused on any of the other skill points. I probably should have been, but I wasn't. So anyway, that's just what I was using when I was in the early stages of using Shadowhunter. So now let's focus on what I'm using right now at level 45 and what I'm using on my streams. And this thing dominates. This thing just dominates. I'll show you. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to show you what I have equipped now, and then I'll show you the skill points that I've put in. But I want to show you why I've done this setup. Now, it's also important to know that it doesn't matter what build you have, it's placements of where they are according to your keyboard. So for example, like I said, I use W, A, D, and S most. And the way you set it up is really important. So we have the demonic clone in Q. We have the grind chain in W. We have the sharpen cut in E. We have my normal slasher in A. Then we have the howl in S. And then we have spinning weapon in D. And then these ones here I don't really use. Now in the last segment, you might notice these were empty. When I was a lower level, I didn't use R and F. Now I use R and F only for my mid-range attacks. So let me show you why I have this set up. Now, when you are at a higher level, you're going to come across mobs a lot more. You're going to be surrounded by enemies. It's going to happen a lot. So you're going to have to get in and get out quick, but you're going to have to do as much damage as possible to as many enemies as possible, right? So let me kind of show you an example here if I can. This is probably a bad example because I am in a bad area, but let's just grab a couple of these guys here. So basically what I want to do is I want to tap W, then I want to tap E, then I want to smash D, and then I want to do the howl. Okay? Now, that might seem really overwhelming, and I just destroyed those enemies. Now, there's even a better way to do this, and I'll try and do it. I can probably do it here. So let me just, okay, yeah, I can do it here. Let me just get my stuff back. Actually, we can do it without the howl. So basically, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to do D again. Then I'm going to do my demonic clone. And then I can finish off with A. You see how effective that is? That's so effective. So let me show you how I do this again without enemies around. And then I will show you the skills. Now, keep in mind, when there's lots of mobs, this is so effective. You can literally destroy everything in your path. So, you notice down here, I do W first, and then I do E, and then I tap D because it gives you 2 blades, and then I can do the clone, then I can do S, and then I can do A to finish off any enemies around me. It's extremely quick, and then I also have R and F if I want to do some long distance stuff. So the placement of the key, of where they are on your keyboard, is extremely important to how you play the game. That's even more important than what you actually choose. But yeah, so W, E, and then I can tap D, and I can do my demonic clone, then I can finish off with A, or I can also do the S. So the skills for this are very basic. Slasher, I haven't changed. Slasher, I have crit and crit. Slasher is basically there just to finish off any last enemies that are there. It's pretty good for that type of stuff. The grind chain, okay, this one is a little bit more complicated. I have outgoing damage plus 20%. I have crit at plus 30%. Then I have throw weapon to the target location for 3 seconds, inflicting the 100% total damage at that location. So basically, what it does is it pushes it forward for 3 seconds. Boom. Easy. Okay, that's a good one. Then we have the combo, the spinning weapons, one of my favorites of all time. Now I have the cooldown on minus 5 seconds because without this, it's quite a long cooldown. I have throw weapon duration plus 1 second, adds an outgoing damage of plus 50%. And then I have on hit, ignore foe defenses by 60%. Now, sharpen cut, which is another one of my favorites, is rotation duration plus 0.4 seconds, giving a 20% damage. On hit, bleed foes inflict 76 damage each 1 second for 5 seconds. This is a pretty useless one in my opinion, but I found it was better than the other ones. The probably quickly move 6 meters forward might be alright, but it didn't really work for my situation. And remember, for the skill, every skill point you put in, the damage goes up on the actual thing. So some people might be like, oh, I'm going to do 4 and leave it at 4. Wow, that's 3, 4, 5, 4 damage. If you put another one in, 3, 6, 2, 7. So make sure you do use your skill points where you can. Now, this one's really good. So this is E. Basically, this just goes forward and you just slash everything in your way. It's so good. The blades are going to be your best friend when you're high level with this. The demonic clone, we have crit rate plus 20%. You can tell I love crit by now. After the 3rd slam attack, use the skill again for a horizontal attack that pushes foes. Inflicts 50% damage. So basically you do it, keep tapping it, and then it gives you that last slash at the end. That's what that does. And then we also have cannot gain shadow burst meter, outgoing damage 100%. Basically what this means is when you do the clone, your meter here won't go up, but that doesn't matter because it goes up easy as with other stuff anyway, and you get plus 100% outgoing damage. Now the next one, I think that might be it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I don't have any points on anything else. But really, guys, the most important thing is to set it up for your best situation. And your best situation after like level kind of 35 and upwards, you're going to be coming across a lot of mobs. You're going to be surrounded by a lot of enemies. So it's really important that you have it set up so you can just slash, dash, smash, destroy, and absolutely finish them off with the whatever that is at the end. And then if you want to, you can also do that. Now guys, the engravings I'm using on this is Disrespect, essentially giving me more damage to enemies that are less than 30% HP. Now, if you can't tell by now, I love damage, I love crits. Now you might notice that I have 2 of these actually put on here. The reason is because if I take off one, it says level 1. If I put another one on there, it actually stacks, and now it says level 2. Well, it's got 6 more things. So just keep that in mind. But Disrespect is what I use for my engravings on the Shadowhunter. Shadowhunter is awesome for damage, and that's what I go for. Anyways, guys, that's the setup that I have right now on my Shadowhunter. Shadowhunter, in my opinion, is one of the best classes you can use. It's a little bit difficult at the start because it can be hard to take down mobs. But once you get higher in levels and you start to actually figure this out, and you have your keys set up correctly, this thing absolutely dominates. It just dominates. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, tap that notification bell, smash that like button, and I'll see you then.